Hi, welcome back to part 2. I'm going to talk about the caged positions, the 5 positions. So look in the description underneath the video. I'll have all the patterns written out in the key of C for those of you who aren't familiar with this. So I'll continue with my same strategy. I'm going to say the note names in both directions, and this is a good way to learn the notes. So you got a D Lydian, key of A. Okay, now we're going to do the caged pattern. So D, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, A, G, F sharp, B, A, G sharp, and then F sharp, E. And then what I'm choosing to do here is I'm just going to slide down so I can get that low D. Okay, so back up D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D. So you'll see some overlap between the different patterns. So then if I was here, I would have 3 more notes there, but I'm just going down to D because I'm doing everything in terms of the D being my roots. Right, and then I also have a note here, so you have a 1 octave scale D to D, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, D, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D. So that's kind of your Lydian sound, D triad to E, so it's the 4 and 5 chord of the parent key. Right, and then there's also a 1 octave scale, kind of convenient, from A to A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, which is just the parent scale. A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A. So I like to think in terms of the roots and fifths as being a good to play off of. Right, so it kind of keeps you within close to the key by playing off of the root and the fifth of the key. Okay, so that's the caged 5 positions. Okay, so let's go on to now to key of D, Ionian. Okay, so now here now the G sharp is going to move down to G. So D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and then the D to end off the 2 octaves. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. All right, once again, going around okay, so now it's going to be going around a D chord, a G chord, and an A chord. So that's the 4 and 5 chord key of D. So once again, you have to use your imagination to just figure out how to use these to create your own musical ideas. Okay, so then we have a 1 octave pattern, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, D, C sharp, E, A, G, F sharp, E, D. I'll do a sequence here, 2, 3. Thirds descending. All right, there's a lot of different things you can do there, and then you'll have the A to A here. So A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A. Okay, because we're in A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, E, A. All right, that's going to be key of D, caged. Okay, so now we're at the D Mixolydian, key of G, caged. So now the C sharp is going down to C. So D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. Right, kind of going around a D7 chord. Okay, so now in the key of, in this Mixolydian, the two chords are the C major, see like I did in the previous section. One octave scale, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, just you would call that Mixolydian. D, C, B, A, F sharp, E, D, and then you have A to A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C. All right, so kind of going around the root and fifth of the mode of the D. Hard to go wrong there. So then you just, once again, to not make it too predictable. Okay, that's Mixolydian. All right, so next on to Dorian. So it's key of C. So now the F sharp is going to be an F note. Okay, so this is once again cage positions. You can refer to the PDF that has all those diagrams there. I actually prefer the term classic. That you'll notice that in my book. The document is from a book I wrote in the early '90s, and I never learned them as caged. That was just never something that I really thought about when I thought of them more kind of like Jimmy Bruno, like they're just fingerings. Yeah, it's just the notes of that key in that particular position or that particular fingering. I use cage just because a lot of teachers on YouTube use it, so I figured that's an easy way to communicate with the audience that might be familiar with that term. Okay, here we go. Cage, DCB, AG, FED, CBA, GFE. Right, around like a D minor chord. So I am looking at the notes as I'm doing this, and this is a good way to learn to read music. And this is a particular strategy of learning that I learned from a guy, a Berkeley guy I used to hang out with back in the day. Up the scale, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, and then, so here, this would be the F. So for the Dorian, F and G triads. G, F. That's just the thirds. Okay, one octave scale, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Right, right, and then 1 octave scale A to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Right, so I'm not necessarily giving these names because that's all in terms of the D root. Yeah, I'm landing on 9 there. That's Dorian. Okay, now we're going on to Aeolian, parent key of F. So now the B's are going to go down to B flat. So I think in this one I chose to go to this pattern here. So D, C, B flat A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat A, G, F, E. Right, so that way I'm kind of keeping in a position and I'm only really shifting down for one note for that low D. So D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. All right, so around a D minor chord. Okay, so then key of F, so you would have B flat, C, D. And in the previous section, I talked about that very, very common sound, B flat. Scale D to D, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, and then A to A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A. So once again, depending on what your root note is, then you're going to hear these. Jesus Christ Superstar there, kind of hearing that. I was doing later on. I'll maybe do a reference to another song that I as I was getting ready for this, I was kind of doing a higher position. I thought, oh, that kind of sounds like a old Santana song that we used to do back in our fusion days. It was in a D minor. I don't think the original key was D minor, but I was doing it in D minor. Okay, D Phrygian. Okay, so now the E is going to resolve down, is going to be in E flat. Okay, so what I decided to do here, I decided to go up to this position of caged. Okay, so you have D, C, B flat A, G, F, E flat D, C, B flat C, B flat A, G, and then F, E flat D. Yeah, so I wanted to keep everything so it's kind of going across in a position. So D, E flat F, G, A, B flat C, D, E flat F, G, A, B flat C, D. I'll do that one more time because I didn't play that very well. So D, C, B flat A, G, F, E flat D, C, B flat A, G, F, E flat D. Here's the D, E flat F. Up the scale, D, E flat F, shift, G, A, B flat C, D, E flat F, G, A, B flat C, D. So you have the E flat, F. Right, so that's the symbolic trick. Okay, so then here I'm going down the scale, 1 octave scale, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D. There's just a different way to think of it. And back up, so D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. I thought that was a nice, convenient pattern. had an A to A, sort of similar to idea A, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A. Once again, I'm thinking of this not as as an A mode. I'm thinking of it more in terms of the A being the fifth of the D chord. A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A. And D. Good on that one. So D Phrygian, okay, and I guess we have one more in this section here. So we have the Locrian, key of E, and I think this one I'm also doing up here out of this particular caged pattern because I thought it was more convenient. So now the A is going to now become A flat in the key of E flat. So this is D Locrian, D, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A flat, G, shift. F, E flat, D, minor 7 flat 5 chord. D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. Different versions of that. Just another version of that chord. E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. Or that chord there. Okay, so then we have some one octave patterns here. D, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D. I'm going to go to that D minor 7 flat 5 chord. Up the scale, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. Version there. Right, so that's D to D, and then A flat to A flat. How what did I decide to do here? So oh yeah, right here. So this is on the 3rd to 5th string. A flat, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A flat. So that would go along with maybe that. So A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do for that section there. So now stay tuned for the Zack Wylde pattern. This is just something that I read about in a Guitar World magazine years and years ago. I've never heard it called anything else, but it's kind of similar to kind of what Berkeley does, where they sometimes will double the note on another string. So I'll do a deep dive on that, pulling out some pentatonics, minor major pentatonics. Maybe I'll talk about some modal pentatonics and things like that. So stay tuned for part 3.